Ta-da! There, I have washed my hands. Look how clean they are. And now I got to pack up all this stuff from the big show. But I thought I'd take a moment. Oh, wait, this is still screwed up here. Wait, let's see. I'm not going to be able to unscrew it, I think. Right, let's look at the buttons here. Webcam. There. Okay, that kind of works. All right, I thought I'd take a moment to show off some. Oh, I got to put the camera back together. I'm not ready. Look, it is 3:42 in the morning. There's not much going on. So I can probably get away with this. Let's pick this back up. Yep. Oop, there. So I don't think there's anybody even here. That's okay. I do lack a certain amount of dexterity. There's Dave Carlisle. How are you, baby? Let's get this. Oh, pointed here. Look. You can look at my spider. He's up there somewhere. I swear it. There. Is that good enough? Have my work turned upside down. This is kind of finicky. There. I'm going to jam it into here. I took the tripod out to the garage there earlier because you know, just start a few more vegetables. What the hell? Can we see it? Yeah, there we go. So I'm always taking stuff apart and putting them back together. Now I gotta get this to work. There's Righty Misa and David Carlisle. All right. Okay. So what I've been doing late at night. Did I say that out loud? Am I boring you? There's plenty of other things to do, man. There's cat videos. You can go check those out. All right. But I found a few things online I thought I'd share. Somebody sent me a link to a Washington Post article. And this is slick as hell. Let's get over there and have a look. And it's how you got. We got some really interesting simulations over here in the Washington Post, right? And it goes into this this outbreak and what needs to be done to stop it. And they got a simulation to explain why. Okay, and I got to show this off. Now we start with 200 dots. Now it starts off with one red dot, which is sick. We got everybody else is healthy. Now when a red dot is sick long enough, it recovers and turns pink. But if a red dot bumps into a blue dot, the blue dot becomes a red dot. And so what we're doing is watching this curve over time right here. Kind of neat. And then they have a couple of other simulations. I thought I'd play them for you. Okay, let's see. I got to kill this button. There we go. And see if we can see this. Yeah, we can see this. All right, so here you got 200 red, 200 dots. One is red. And what happens over time? How fast does this thing spread? And there you go. They just bump into each other, float around, bump into more. It doesn't take long, and you got a whole lot of red dots here and very few blue. The pinks are starting to show up after a while. There you go. I don't see any blue dots here. And it'll run out of time here in a minute. And then there, everybody's back to pink. All right, now one channel I've been watching real hard is this guy right here. Dr. John Campbell. You can't see that. I got to slide that over here. Can we see that? That's it. This is him. He's a nurse doctor. He teaches nurses, and he's got a couple of books out. And he seems to have a good idea what's going on, but he's offering information to explain why the disease does what it does. And the simple explanation that he's come up with, and I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, I don't know, maybe a week and a half, is flatten the curve. Okay, let me get over home here. And he put it up as you know, a useful meme, you know, something to just keep repeating. So let me slide this stuff off to the side. And that's not going to work. I'll slide this over here. There. Okay, we need the camera. And a pen. Where's my pen? I can never find a pen. Now I've explained before this exponential growth aspect of this viral growth. Right? It grows rapidly. So we have we're going to do two graphs, right? The first one is real simple. Here's time, right? Whatever timeline you want, say a couple, 3 months, all right? And the data that I've looked at suggests that if we don't stop this thing, we're going to have a whole lot of cases. This is the case count, how many people are infected in the next couple, 3 months, all right? And well, it's exponential growth. It starts off slowly, then takes off. Now, the only thing stopping this thing from continued growth is, well, we have a limited number of people. So a typical exponential growth curve and then decline would be something like this. Okay, where it comes up rapidly to a peak and then tapers off. My artwork really isn't the perfect thing, but here's the trick. Right about here, right? This is how many people are sick. This is a people count. We can handle about, say, this many people in the medical system. We've got 1 million beds in the United States. Only about 100,000 of them are set up for critical care, for intensive care. Now we've got 80% of the people that get sick are going to have a mild case. They'll cough, they'll dry out, it'll suck, but they'll get better. The other 20%, 15% of them are going to need medical attention. Okay, that's a severe case. But you get about 5% of the cases that will need serious medical attention, or they just are going to die. That's all there is to it. All right, there's our numbers. So 80, 15, 20. That's 100%. We can only handle this many patients. So up here, those people who would have died without medical attention, you know, not just the 5% that are going to have a hard time anyway, but a lot of these people, they're just not going to get medical attention. I had one guy I'm talking to him, he says, dude, I got really good insurance. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. Well, the fact is, once the hospitals fill up, and they're going to, I don't care what your insurance is. Let's have a look real quick at my data. Let's see, screen. There's the screen. Here is some data that means nothing to you probably. All right, where's the utility sheet? Here it is. We'll go back up here. Make sure we can see what I'm looking at. Okay, this is US. This is actual counts through the 15th. That's all this above here. These are based on actual data. Below here is a projection that I've come up with. I'm going to color this yellow because this is all data. So it's anecdotal evidence. And everything below is estimated, okay? Well, right now we got 2,951 cases. Is that correct? What's the latest count? Let's see. 3,782. What did I just say there? 3,782. Oh, that's March 15th. There. And turn that one yellow. Where's the yellow button? There's the yellow button. All right. So you figure the 4,000 people, if 20% of need attention, that's 800 critical cases. And of those 800, you're talking 200 of them are going to be in ICU. So over here, I've got 5% of this number. And once you get into ICU, they're showing something like 14 to 21 days is typical that you're going to be in ICU. So I got the second column, which is the sum, 21 days. And this is a count of everybody for the previous 21 days. And that's assuming they don't drop dead. Okay, but if we've got 80,000 to 90,000 ICU beds, right around here, there are no hospital beds available for you. They're just not. And then you have the issue of how many people went to the hospital with a pretty, showing case, a pretty heavy case, but they don't really need the ICU. They're going to fill up the hospitals. And this is, what, 3 weeks out. This is around the first week of April. You're done. Hospitals are black. They can take no more patients because they're already full with people with heart attacks, car crashes, stroke, you name it, everything else that the society suffers from. So filling up the hospitals, we have to avoid that, or the death rate is going to go through the roof. We can't treat these people. They don't have a chance. What we have to do is flatten the curve. All right. Let me draw it again. Only this time it's over a longer time frame. Okay, here's the case counts. There's your counts. Here's the time. Okay, and this is what the hospitals can handle. All right, maybe they can increase that a little bit, but it's not going to be double. We don't have the staff. You can't train up an ICU nurse in 2 months or 3 years or 3 weeks or a couple of, here's a pamphlet, read that and get to work. That was done in the 1918 flu. You know, you got volunteers willing to help out. They're just glorified butt wipers. They really can't offer any care that's going to offer help. So we got to stay below this line. This is the hospital, what do you call it? Saturation point, hospital ability. If we get above that line, we cannot treat the people effectively. So we got to lower that curve. And it's going to climb. Well, slow it down, right? We can come up to a peak and it'll maybe either come down or just continue longer. But as long as we don't cross this critical threshold, that hospital line, we can save a lot of the people. The 15% that are going to need medical attention, we can treat them. The 5% that are going to die without serious medical care, we can treat them. If we go with something like this, okay, it'll be over quick, but a lot of people, it's not going to be over for them. It'll be over forever. We got to keep it down. So we flatten the curve. How do we do it? Isolation. And we're not talking isolating just the sick people. We need to isolate everybody. China, we can no longer really rely on the figures that are coming out of China. Their numbers, they are not realistic. They don't reflect patterns of growth for viruses. They seem to be politicized. Okay, but I've got the, there we go, we're back to the screen. I've got that Washington Post article. And let's have a look at that, because I got 4 different examples. And every time you reload the page, you can do this as many times as you want. I'll give you this link here. Here's copy, and I'll put that over here. Paste. Oh, look, I'm in the chat. Let me catch up real quick. Dave's not here, man. Let's see. Nuke going, hi. What are you teaching tonight? We're talking about everything. This is just a free-for-all talking. And late at night, I've been talking lately about current events. But I don't want to say, you know, those 2 words. So I say Charlie Victor, because YouTube took a video that I used those words, those other words, and they got demonetized. Well, I'd like to make a couple of dollars. Okay. Don't you think it is dumb to set up testing at Walmart, where we will be going for food? Why not at airports, small airfields? They got hangars. There's a lot more Walmarts out there, and they're well placed. Besides, it'll be off, you know, off to the side, out of the way, and they're well placed. And geez, you've got an automatic distribution system for your testing supplies, for your safety devices that you need for the staff. It's a perfect location. Everybody knows where the hell Walmart is. You got to find the airport. You know, you got people that haven't gone to the airport in 30 years. But by God, they go to Walmart every single week, and they can tell, look, there's a new tent over there. Yeah, that would be, I think, a wonderful location. They got the room. All you got to do is reduce the number of cars in the parking lot, and that kind of falls into the plan too. Okay. Need a more flatter. You need, ideally, you have a nothing bell curve. Stopping it fast and intensely is the thing. Okay, let's get back to the Washington Post. Okay, can we see it? Yep. Okay, there we go. Every time you load it, it's going to give you a new situation. Here, the first one, they continue, right? So it's kind of neat. Let's see. So we got 200 balls. There you go. And when everybody's moving around, it's the opportunity is present to just keep on spreading. Imagine 100 billion or 200 billion balls on a pool table, and it doesn't take long, and you nail everybody, and then the disease calms down when everybody's infected and healed and recovered. Yeah, most of us will get over it just fine. Now this one's different. We're going to uh, isolate some of the people, right, for a little while, and then open that barrier. So we have them isolated on one side, right, and it's still 200 balls. But after a little while, we say, okay, all clear. You can come out now, and see what happens here. So this is the quarantine wall. But then you open the darn wall. And just see what it does. And still you have all these people on the right side milling about. Once you enter that, once the disease enters the freely moving society, again, it comes up. But this curve is a whole lot flatter, and it's extended to the right. We can see here. Let's compare that to the top curve. Here you get a single pulse, and it's over. Okay, but you get above that point. You get above what the hospitals can handle. Here you got two. One is where it maximizes on the isolated area, the quarantine zone, right? And once everybody's sick, it kind of declines just a little. But then you open up and let them out of quarantine, and you have the same sort of bell curve over here. So you still got to get rid of those peaks. Well, this is better at least, but this is effectively the isolation strategy used by governments across the world to date. And China, their numbers are being cooked so they can justify releasing people and putting them back to work. That's my opinion of that. Okay, this one, we're gonna do some social distancing. So 25% of the dots are moving. Is that right? I'm gonna read that again. Okay, whoops, as health experts would expect, it proved impossible to completely seal off the sick population from the healthy. And once you open it up, the sickness gets around. So what we're going to do is social distancing. What happens when a quarter of the population continues to move around while 3/4 stay home? That's all you got to do. Stay the fuck home. There it is. So 25% move around. Everybody else stays home. They're staying put. And let's see how fast this takes. So here you shut down the schools, the universities, you shut down the bars, you shut down the hair salons, the places where you get your nails done, the tanning booths, concerts, movies, and it still spreads. But a whole lot slower. And the final one is, let's see, 1 in 8. Okay, we got it down here to 1 in 8. One person out of 8. Everybody else is isolated and not moving. And see how fast this one comes around. 1 in 8. So these little dots that were infected, they're not spreading it to other people. They are staying put. And geez, what do you know? The disease, it blew itself out. The time it takes once you get infected to when you recover, this disease blew itself out. See, red, infect a few people, but it's still going around slowly. And it won't be too long, these start turning pink. They recover, they recover, they recover. And it blows itself out. Okay, every time you run this, you're going to get a different curve. But this is extended out a long period. 1 in 8, 1 in 25. If you can keep a quarter of the people at home, nope, this has 25 moving around. That's pretty good. But you got to take it further. There's talk about a national lockdown. China has done it. Italy has done it. I projected that it'll be done around the 20th. And this is the 16th. So this is the 25% moving around. And again, as you saw in that simulation, it buys time. The people who are not moving, they can get infected, yes, but then they turn pink. It blows itself out. Let's watch that one again. That's 25%. So you still have some people moving around. They're distributing food. They're going to Walmart to do the testing. They go to the farms to harvest food, or truck drivers driving cans of Spam around. But the people who get infected are not necessarily, they're at home. They're not moving around. This one's really neat because it croaks fast. But these people who are infected, they're not moving around. They're not infecting other people. You only have a few spreaders. In this case, there's one red dot moving around. There's two red dots moving around. 1, 2, yep. There's a third red dot, fourth red dot. In this scenario, you had 37 got sick. In the previous scenario, you had 45. With a partial quarantine, 46. When it's a free-for-all, which we have pretty much now, anybody can go anywhere, except the people that are in ICU. On the free-for-all, everybody gets sick. And all at once. You see that thing go from blue to red. That's it. Sick is, let's see, 41. Yep, recovered, 199. 199 and 1 sick. Everybody in that simulation got sick. All right, where's my damn figures here? Let's see, is it this one? Yeah. Here we go. So I'm still saying around April 9, the hospitals are going to be full, right? That's still the case. And I marked this box a few days ago. Let's see if we can see this right. Yep, good. I marked these boxes because around 10,000 is when other nations started locking down entire cities. When you had 10,000 cases in the country. Will they shut down the United States at 10,000 cases? It's entirely possible. Right now we're at 3,200. If we double it again in 3 days, we'll have 6,400. We double it again in 3 days, and that's the pattern. We'll exceed that magic 10,000 number. And now what? Everybody stay home. You don't move around unless you have PPE, respirators, maybe gloves, maybe goggles. You can only go to the store for supplies. Nobody's at work. They have shut it all down except the people that have the key positions of working the supply stores, be it Walmart or I don't know, Kroger, pick a supermarket nearby, or the truckers who are delivering these things, the people who work in the distribution centers, right? And everybody else stays home, because if we don't do this, these figures grow quickly. Right now, we're doubling the number of cases every 2 to 3 days. I think this is a little heavy. I think there's some extra reporting on that date because we got, a 2-day change. But if we're doubling every 3 days, the hospitals will be full in 3 weeks. And let's see, early May, let's see, we got the rest of this month plus next month, and then maybe another week. Every single person in the country is exposed and probably sick. This is a bad case scenario to let this keep on going. And this is the daily numbers. And again, 3, 3, 3, 3. That's the pattern we're showing. And I extrapolated these numbers here somewhere. Here it is, right? This is how many doubling times we can cover. Each of these 3-day points, the population of sick people doubles. If you go back 3 days, you can see it was half. It was half. It was half. Half. This is how these things work. Well, based on this, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the hospitals are filling up. 7, hospitals are reaching capacity. 8, forget it, hospitals are overloaded. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 more doubling times until the entire population is sick, right? everybody. So we gotta reduce this, and the only way to reduce this is lock it down, compel everybody to stay the fuck home, or we're gonna get those bigger curves. This is what we have to have. This is the 25% box. It's pretty good. It needs to be a little tighter, a little harder, a little sharper. Contain more of them. This is better. Do we need 25% of the population out there running around spreading the disease? If we could do it with 8%, that'd be this one. And that curve just drags right down to a crawl. This would be better. This would make it possible to keep up. This will keep the hospitals operating so they're not overwhelmed. And we can still get the supplies distributed around the country. But you can't leave your house but once every now and again, once every 3-4 days. I pretty much do go to the store. Does it mean we don't have money to buy groceries? I think so. So the government's going to have to put that in. Here's an EBT card for everybody. Looking at my data again. Where are you back here? Is that the one? Nope, this one. There we go. So if they wait until 10,000 people get sick, we're looking at somewhere between the 19th and the 22nd of March. I can pull up the calendar. Let's pull that up here. It's over on this side. So here's the calendar. You know, the 20th is on a Friday. 21st, 22nd, these are on weekends. If you're going to lock down the country, doing it on a Friday evening, send everybody home, but they get that one more paycheck. That's a big deal here. Or you let them go the weekend to get supplies and tell them, hey man, we're going to lock you down on Sunday night. This is my projection. I think we will shut down this entire country this weekend. And that's the only way I see that we can stop this thing. There's the chat over there. I'm going to follow along, see who's saying what. Do you think they will shut it down in a week? All of it. Everybody stay home. Stay the fuck home. The claims are there are not enough tests. Well, testing is all well and good. It's a necessary part of it, but you got to have these non-pharmaceutical interventions. You have to stop people from meeting, stop them from greeting, hugging, kissing, except for the wife thing. Hanging out in stores with 500 other people, going to concerts with 50,000 people, going to small concerts. Maybe a guy's playing guitar at a bar with only 50 people in attendance. We have to shut down all these social situations and convince the public too. That's going to be the hard part, is selling this idea to the public that they have to stay home. And how long? A couple months easily. I suspect it can be longer. And the government will have to issue direct payments to individuals to keep up their ability to purchase those supplies they need in order to stay home. Let me catch up on chat. I've concluded that we need tests for everyone to determine the areas that need to be quarantined. We have a good idea where the centers are, right? We've got a lot of data already as far as where the hospitals are busy. Here's the screen, and there, I think this would probably do it. Can we see it okay? I got to keep shifting this across because the YouTube screen is not as wide as my screen. Okay, here we go. So this is the Johns Hopkins database over here. And we can tell where the hotspots are in the U.S., right? You got some up here in Kings County, Washington. You got some hotspots over here in Westchester County in New York State, right? You got some around the Boston area. They know where the hotspots are already. The size of the dot tells you where it is. So, well, target those areas first, but you have to test them, test the people, follow, if they do test positive, you got to chase them down and find out who they've been with for the past, week and a half to 2 weeks, because the rate that this thing carries around is pretty tremendous. But also, these folks are walking around coughing up virus and they have no idea they're sick. They're not showing symptoms. So where you have a hot spot, yeah, you got to find more. Testing works, and the U.S. has botched that one terrifically. The CDC was not ready. Yep, they didn't want to take them from other countries. No, no, we don't want your test. We're going to make our own, and they fucked us for an extra week. And that extra week is 2 more doubling times. If we could go back a week, we would have, let's see, this is March 16. We go back 5 days, we had only 800 cases. Huh. Go back 9 days, 400. We got a real good chance on these low numbers. Now is the time to take serious action, because if we wait, right, each one of these is about 3 days apart. There's the doubling time on the left. This is the actual measurement on the right. So we got a projection here and a measured over here, and we're ahead of the curve. But if we wait another week, right, from 16 to 22, okay, well, that's where the shutdown, I project, will start sometime in here. But if you wait another week from 22 to 28, you're talking an extra how many cases? 12,000 doubles to 25, doubles to 51. That's an extra 40,000 cases. Now that genie is out of the bottle. If we wait another week on top of that, we will never ever contain that. The hospitals will be overloaded long before we even make a chance, take a shot at it. We have 1 week before you shut down the nation, and if it's effective, then maybe we can buy some time, and the hospitals won't fill up for a little while longer. We need to buy a year on this thing to get a vaccine in. Otherwise, we have to starve this virus of its hosts. It's the only way to shut it down. And to starve it of its host, that means we have to keep the existing cases away from new cases. But since we don't know which, who's sick, because you can spread it without symptoms, we have to shut the whole damn smack, all of it. Make the drug companies produce more tests. They're in the works. They should have been in the works 2 weeks ago. Oop, we just jumped on that. The chat just leaped forward. I can't type your whole name. Bad boy. I was told there are ponies here. That's right, and you can win a pony. Yeah, but you have to be part of the club. I'm just here for the giveaway, says Dave. Okay. I do have a roll. Where was it? Yeah, I've got a roll of modern currency. A whole roll of it. This stuff is worth a fortune. That's right. Look at that. You can open it. It's so soft. You ever seen such a thing? We got the biggest health crisis in a century, and people are just worried about how the hell they're going to wipe their ass. Oh, Christ. Really, do they deserve to get sick? Well, most of us are going to be okay. We'll come out the other side and be just fine. But we got 20% of the people who will have a severe case, and we need to be able to treat them by keeping the hospitals operational. Michael Kittle, Rare Coins. Yes, the Big Show was a good one. It's mostly here still. Ta-da. I got to get that packed up tonight and shipped out. And we'll talk about it. I'm going to advise the winners to let the package sit for 9 days undisturbed on their porch, in their car, whatever. It's not a bad idea that when you check your mail, wear a glove or grab a plastic bag and grab your mail with that. And only open up those mail items that you must open up. Sanitize your mail. What do? Bake it? That might not be a bad idea. Throw it in the microwave. Anything that burns, you didn't need to pay that anyway. But most of the stuff here has been here a while. I mean, a lot of these coins have been here at least a week. But if the virus can live on a surface, geez, I get coins from all over the place, right? I get coins from Texas. I get coins from Virginia. I get coins from Washington, from Oregon, from Tennessee, right? There's lots of different coins from different places. And a lot of these have been here a while. But it's not just the coins we need to worry about, because from here they go to the post office where they'll be handled by how many people along the way. There's the girl up here at the post office, and she's an idiot, really. Then the guy that is going to load the truck, right? And then probably the driver of the truck. Then at the other end of the post office, maybe there's somebody unloading that. Then it has to be sorted to go into the next one. I don't know how many postal workers are going to be in contact with that package by the time it gets to you. And if any of them are red dots, that's not a good thing. So yeah, let's all watch our mail and let it sit, let it age, let it ripen for a few days, and preferably not inside the house. I know, David, it's most of it. Still no webbing. No, sorry. We ran out of webbing. If you have webbing, by all means, send it. But I'm not going to open that package for several days. This is crazy times. We've had times like this before. We just haven't had times like this in the memory of most people living. The last time we had a disease get around this badly was 1918 and 1919, and it killed 500,000 Americans, 550,000. More people died in the last pandemic than in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, the Gulf combined. Burn the paper off the coin. I'd rather let it sit in the barn for, a week and a half. Now, the testing that's been done on surfaces, on surface contagion, right? Somebody coughs, lands on a handrail or on a coin. The longest it has survived on an inanimate object is 9 days. Typically, the virus dries up and is dead or no longer viable after 3 to 4. So if you don't open your mail for 4 or 5 days, that'll take care of most of it. But 9 days is the max. Let's go 10 days. Open your mail on day 10, just to be safe, because there's a lot of government workers in between your mailbox and my mailbox. Good morning, Madding. How are you? We were talking. Look, I got some other stuff to show you. Where's this one? We got a great image. I get this from Chris Hadfield. He's that Canadian astronomer guy. Let's see if we can see this. Okay, here we go. And it explains what the hell soap does. Just plain soap. People out there screaming for hand sanitizer. Well, let's just look at soap. How does soap work? And can we see this? Let's see. It's over on the left side. Here we go. Okay, the coronavirus has a membrane of oily lipid molecules. That's in here, the yellow and brown, the light ring going around. It's the shell, right? It's the eggshell of this virus, which is studded with proteins. That's these. And it's these proteins, see how it's like a corona? It's these proteins that attach to your cells on other protein receptors. And the lipids, well, that's the body of the car. Excuse me. Don't come over here. And I got to shift this thing every single time. Is that right? Probably. Wait a minute. There. Can we see it? Come back. There's that. There's this. There, we can see the top. Okay, soap molecules have a hybrid structure. They have a head that bonds to water. These are not spermatozoa. This is the shape of a soap molecule. Okay, this doesn't wiggle. You have a head that'll bond to water and a tail that runs from water. So you have a hydrophilic head and a hydrophobic tail. So one loves water, one doesn't. This is why soap is so darn effective. But this hydrophobic tail bonds readily with oil and fat. And then I got to go back down here. So I got to change this so we can see it. There you go. Soap destroys a virus when the water shunning tails, that's the zigzag end of it, of the soap molecules, wedge themselves into the lipid membranes and pry it apart. Here it is. This is what happens. Once you open up that shell, the RNA comes out. Now, soap traps dirt. Wait, where are you? I got to move over again. There you go. So that virus is destroyed. And soap traps dirt and fragments of the destroyed virus in tiny bubbles called micelles, or micelles, however you want to. And they wash away. They're water soluble because the only thing sticking out are the water loving heads. That's the way that works. And it just washes down the drain and you're done. Cleaning your hands with soap and water, probably the best plan of them all. If you don't have soap and water available, okay, the hand sanitizer can help. They like the aloe along with the alcohol. Alcohol is pretty harsh on your hands, straight alcohol, and you need to have about 60 to 70% alcohol to be effective. Well, most hand sanitizers are 60 to 70%, and that's all it does. It's the way the soap molecules work. Okay, we got another one. Let's kill this and get over here because this guy just pissed me off. Is this the guy? No, no, no. There, this guy. All right, this is an article from the New York Times. Okay, you've seen him, you know him. A lot of people are gonna die, and this guy wants to make a profit on it. All right, guy's got 17,700 bottles of hand sanitizer, and no place to sell them. eBay and the big one there. What's the one with the A? I'll see it here. Amazon. Okay, this guy on March 1st got him a truck, him and another guy, his brother, set out all over the U.S. picking up hand sanitizers. And they're going through Chattanooga, Tennessee. They hit the Dollar Tree, at Walmart, Staples, Home Depot, any place that sells hand sanitizer, right? He drove for 1,300 miles, filled up a U-Haul. You know, the little small towns with a dollar store in the backwoods. We got one right up here. It's the big store in town. It works. The major metro areas were cleaned out. But out here in the woods, yeah, they got hand sanitizer. We got toilet paper. I could buy 20 rolls of toilet paper tomorrow, but I don't need them. Okay. Now, he had a home around Chattanooga, and he was getting waiting for pallets and wipes and stuff. But the next day, this is justice right here. Amazon pulled his items and thousands of other listings for sanitizer, wipes, and face masks because people were gouging. They'd buy them from Walmart, clean them out, stick it up on eBay and Amazon. And eBay followed suit the next day with even stricter measures, and they don't offer masks or sanitizers on eBay. The fuck? You can't get them at any price now because of motherfuckers like this guy. These are price gougers. We get them down here in Florida when there's hurricanes, right? You had the big hurricane that hit Mobile, Alabama, Katrina, for example. And yeah, people say, oh, what a great opportunity to make $1. All right. So now he's got all this good stuff, all this hand sanitizers that people want, and he cannot sell them on Amazon and eBay, so he'll probably end up eating those because, quite frankly, Walmart, yeah, they're shipping more sanitizer. They're shipping more baby wipes, Clorox wipes. It's coming. So, fuck you, buddy. There, I said it. That's justice. Instead of making $1, he's sitting on, I don't know, $40,000, $50,000 worth of product, and he's going to have to eat it. He will probably never sell that stuff. You're damn right, Vern LaPointe, that bastard. Yeah, where'd I go? There we go. Every time there's a hurricane, they run to Walmart, they buy the batteries, they buy the water. What the hell? They set up on the side of the road, cases of water, $40. It costs you $6 at Walmart, and that's, I think, way too much for tap water. And they got it on the side of the road, you know, right off the back of a truck, $40 a case. You can have as much as you like. It's only $40 a case. Yeah. I think while they're at the truck selling their water, somebody might just find out where the hell they live and help yourself to everything that's in the house. Load that up on a truck. Put it beside the one guy's truck and sell it back to him. Yep. Sex education in reverse. That's how you get fucked right there. Yep. Hope the stores don't let him return it. Yeah, and then you have to give it away or use it yourself. You're darn right. Poetic justice. There it is. Look, this is a time where we need to work together. And I've been doing these videos, these updates every time the sick population doubles. But I think I'm just going to go on whenever the hell I feel like going on. Uh, I like to think I'm putting up some decent information that's going to be useful or helpful. At the very least, this one girl sent me an email that made her feel better about not panicking. Look, they have not bombed the toilet paper factory. Walmart might be out right now. Dude, they run out of stuff every single week. They simply send more on the next truck. It happens. Thanks, Nathan. They gouge kerosene here quite frequently. Yeah. Well, the price of gas is coming down some. That's a bit of a relief. I think it ought to come down a whole lot more. If oil's at $30 a gallon, way back in the day when it was $30 a gallon, gas was $1.52. Come on, come on. They're still gouging us. Whenever there's a jump in oil prices, prices increase immediately. And the sellers say, well, we have to pay for the next shipment of fuel. But when prices dive, on the oil, at the gas pump, they don't come down for a week. Yeah, man. Look, that is a private enterprise. We have to have these things. Independence is something we might think about. I grow vegetables here and there. I started some up earlier tonight. Just, it gets me out of the house. So I go next door here, which it really isn't that far, and get some vegetables started. Later tomorrow, I'll plant some more outside. But there's a level of independence that our nation has lost. We go to Walmart and buy a plant to eat that we could grow in our front yard. No problem at all. It wouldn't even look bad. They're nice, they're pretty, they're bunchy, they're green, they're full. You can cut off a few leaves, have dinner, have a complete salad. And the plant, you don't have to rip it out of the ground. You pick and come back again later. The plant keeps on growing. Lettuce, spinach, so many of these green leafy vegetables work in exactly that way. Collard, you can go to Walmart. You can spend $4 on 2 pounds of collards, and they're pretty good if you know how to cook them right, knead them right. They're plenty good, and they'll fill you. I could get by with 8 plants. Really, that would give me all the collards I could stand. I could not eat all of them and keep my mind. You have a thing called appetite fatigue will set in. You can't eat the same darn food every single day. But if we could gain back some of that independence, we have lots of people who can grow vegetables in their yard. Our biggest crop in this country is grass. They don't even feed it to cows. Grass. My brother's neighbor he was a principal at a local school. I think his wife was a principal at another local school. I don't know where they met though. Anyway, I go to my brother's house, and every weekend, if it's a weekend, there's that guy out in his yard mowing. He mows the place down, then he rakes up it all, puts it in bags, puts it by the curb. You come out a couple hours later, and he was running back and forth with weed and feed, going to fertilize grass, going to get rid of the weeds so he has more grass and less weeds. And then he comes back later and waters it all in. And it looks okay, except half of it's dead from the weed part. Little patches all over the place of nothing growing. $1.80 a gallon on Saturday. Very good. Yep, I didn't even check what I paid last time. I just put in gas, so I figured that's enough. This is good. This is gonna be I spend more on car insurance than I do on gas, for Christ's sakes. Yeah. Really, you're gonna spend your weekend every week tending a crop that you're just gonna put in the bags by the side of the road? That seems kind of like a total waste of time to me. Would it make sense to, take some of that space, and you can establish some pretty darn attractive growing areas, right? I mean, you can put in, little fences that are pretty and paint them and they're neat, and the neighbors say, "Oh, how pretty," and grow things. zucchinis, tomatoes, peppers, onions, watermelons, whatever you like. Gosh, you got 1/10 of an acre, you'd be surprised how much food you can grow. There's one guy in California, and they had, I think, 1/10 of an acre, and they grew all their own food supply. There was produce. I'm sure they bought some other items, but they also made like, $16,000 a year selling the stuff that they're growing in the yard. Huh. They got goats, they got chickens, they got all kinds of stuff. Right in the middle of town, it's a highway behind them, so they can get away with the goats and chickens. Hope all is doing well this morning. Yeah, mostly. I was up and wanted a bitch, so here it is. Here's another thing. Now, you folks are coin collecting folks. So I saw this one in a Facebook group. This is from Associated Bank. I don't know where they are, really, but at Associated Bank, the health and well-being of our customers, colleagues, and communities are our top priority. Given the evolving concerns, well, that's a good way to say it, given the impending doom might be better, and to help support community health management efforts, we are temporarily suspending lobby access. If you want to get rolls of coins because you're going to be locked in your home for the next couple of months, do it now because the banks are shutting down their lobbies. Now, these changes go into effect Tuesday, that is tomorrow, March 16th. We plan to resume full branch access on Monday, April 13th, subject to public health conditions at that time. Do they know something we don't? March 17 to April 13. Where's the calendar? Can I pull the calendar off or do I have to show it over here? Let's see. Calendar will be down in this corner. Calendar, March 17, that's here. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. They're expecting a 4-week shutdown. There's people that, the kids are really happy because they shut down school for 2 weeks. And they figure, oh, good, 2 weeks will be okay. It'll be a lot, but I'll put up with it. But they don't understand that they're going to keep these schools closed probably through the rest of this school year because we're talking April, May, maybe a little bit in June. But looking at the figures, let's see. Looking at the projections, which are matching, actually exceeding reality here. These are the projections, and this is the actual. We're not going to be opening that bank in April. We're going to have 2 million cases on our hands. They're shutting down now because we got 3,000 cases nationwide. We better shut down the entire place, the whole damn smack, immediately. That bank ain't going to open up for a long, long time. But the schools, into May, we're going to have trouble if we don't shut it down right now in full. Let's see. And this goes on. It's, okay, that's nothing. ATMs. They're going to use ATMs and drive-thrus. So banks are starting to shut down. What's next? There's some states that have shut down all restaurants and bars in their state. Ohio closed all eat-in restaurants. Pickup only. There it is. Ohio. That's the one. Mike Kittle says, we had a local coin club coin show scheduled for March 22, but we postponed it indefinitely until April 19. Not sure that'll happen. The way it's growing, I think all plans need to be just canceled for a while. We'll let you know. That's what it needs to be. You've got to stop it. And it's not going to be 2 weeks. It's not going to be a month. We've got to get this thing knocked down. And it may be that the only way to stop this thing is for enough people get sick that the virus can't transmit anymore because everybody's had it and we built up our own immunities. But we can slow it down. That's the key aspect, is we have to slow it down so we don't get the big hump which knocks out the hospitals. We have to slow it down. We have to keep it below the level of hospital viability. Bars are closed. Man, I better go see Bubba's, because if they're going to close a bar, I better get up there and drink just fast as they can. They're going to stop selling toilet paper? No. But people are running out getting as much toilet paper they need. One guy got 400 rolls of toilet paper. 400 rolls. 2 people living alone. It's enough toilet paper for 4 freaking years. Well, the fact is, the government's well aware of the idea that a lot of the people don't have the funding to stock up a year's supply of goods in their home. They will have to let us out. China did. Uh, you got to have a respirator on. You don't have a respirator, they take you away. Uh, Here, we will quarantine you for you. Uh, that can be expected. There's one fellow in one state I was reading somewhere, it might have been on Drudge Report. Um, he's positive, he has tested positive and refuses to self isolate. So they put him under police guard for, until he's better. Let's see if I can find that article again. Let's see. Amazon is probably going to have some delivery delays. Illinois and Ohio have ordered all restaurants closed. Some fear. Yeah, you always have the headlines. Fear the health system will buckle. Yeah, panic and fear and anxiety sells newspapers. It's not how you prepare a population for what's coming down the road. Okay, it might be another site that had that one. And the Pope is praying for us. That's good of him. Yeah, but one guy, he's got he tested positive and he will not stay home. Okay, now you're a public health risk, and they shut him up. You stay in your house. If you come out, we're going to hit you with this stick. And they get a really big stick. Okay, there. I'm back to the chat. Really hope the employees at the drive-thru and the pizza place are washing their hands and not coughing in my... Yeah, hopefully. You have somebody handling money. Now, the guy who's handling the food is probably out by the oven. Once it gets into that box, well, now you have hands that are separated from your food. And then you have somebody handling the cash, which is coming in the door from the customer. So there is some stoppage between the cash handling and the food handling. Hopefully. I've done, when I worked in a diner, I did all of it. Greet them at the door, take their order, go back, cook it, come back, talk them up, go back and get the food because it's cooked, put it on a plate, give it to them, come back in, clean up, then take cash. It was quiet at 5 o'clock in the morning. You could do it, but by 7, hope you get here by 7 because, man, it's getting busy. Then you got to separate the cash. Cash is a paper linen fabric material. The change is not so bad. The metals, the virus doesn't last long on metals at all, especially when you have silver and copper in there. They have antibiotic properties, which are wonderful. But the paper bills, a little problematic. Charge cards, you got to swipe it, comes out of your pocket, maybe out of pocket by your ass. You swipe it, type it in, rub your nose, hit enter. Scratch your ass, hit the accept button. Is this price amount correct? There you go. Hopefully those idiots don't have, debit cards because they probably don't have bank accounts. Okay, folks, off to work. You stay safe out there, Steve Price. Our church buildings are shut down. We're having our church online. Outstanding. A lot of people will still be able to work, right? There's online businesses. Mine's kind of an online business. I need to do more there too. But software programmers, for example, it can be done online and from home. That's the key thing. If you're teaching, the students can stay at home. I don't know why we even have schools. And the cost of operating schools, why not just get one teacher to teach 8th grade math, right? And she's the teacher for the whole damn nation. You fire the rest of them, bring in a few graders for tests. It seems to me that would save us all a whole lot of money. Yeah, you give the government control more over what they teach because you have a single source. And then you can sell off the school grounds, all the equipment, the desks, the textbooks. Whatever. Find some, second world or third world nation who needs piles of desks, and unload the stuff before they learn. You mean we can just do it online with cell phones? Yeah, you could. You don't have to heat the building. You don't have to feed them lunch. They're on their own for lunch, right? They don't even have to get clothes. Wow, we used to work really hard in the summer to earn money for school clothes. Well, if you shut down school, we don't need school clothes. They found our first case here in San Bernardino County. San Bernardino is in from the coast. Is that right? You're in the lower part and in. And I think there's mountains around there somewhere, as far as I can tell. I've never been to California. Maybe they should just quarantine. While we have the chance, put a fence around California and call it quarantine. And they should do the same for Florida because there's so many freaks down here. We don't want that getting out. Honestly. Hey, Vern. Okay, well, Cindy's here, and I've been talking for a little while, and I've run out of my props for the evening. What's it, an hour? Yep. So I thought I'd call it. We got, to round up, we have a week, probably expecting this weekend, they're going to shut down big parts of they're going to start shutting down at least some cities. New York City, that's going to be tough. When they shut down New York City, we know that they finally have caught on and said enough. The King County, Washington, I'd expect that to be one of the first areas that gets locked down, where you are confined to your home except for certain days based on the letter of your last name, your social security number. Maybe they send out cards to everybody and you have to read the card. But then I think also you'd be limited to where you can go for supplies. Geez, I'm 25 miles from Walmart in this direction. I think I'm 28 miles from the Walmart in that direction. And I don't know, 86 miles from Walmart in that direction. And probably something similar in this direction. So I'd probably be, limited to this one. But we can expect Walmart has worked the deal so they stay open. And I bet you they're hoping to get more customers because they are the only place open. And then it's a matter of keeping the customers. So they're going to shut down other supermarkets? Now, if they do shut down a lot of mobility, can we expect fresh produce to not be available as often, as much, and going to make you kind of look at it if it's in the supermarket? Jesus, people, you ever see somebody test an avocado? They're going to feel and squeeze every freaking avocado there. They're going to buy a tomato. They're going to pick up a tomato, look at it, turn it over, look at the other side. If it's not a perfect tomato, what happens? They're going to put it right back. Maybe we just get those cello-wrapped tomatoes. But I think the produce is going to be a tough sell for a while. Cut produce, maybe. If it's packaged, you have a chance. But all those, wide open peaches. Here's a whole display full of 6 different kinds of plum, all wide open, exposed. I suspect the stores are going to stop offering them. I wonder what Maud was here lurking. Cindy. I wonder what mod is kicking ass and taking names. Cindy. Who's the best damn moderator out there? Cindy. What else you need? What's the answer? Cindy. Yep. Now, Florida, we got some cases down in Tampa. I have not had an update on where else, but I understand there's a case or 2 down in Miami. There's about 30 cases in the state. Up here in the woods, well, we got 2 major highways going through. We got I-75 going north-south, and we got I-10 going east-west. It's a great place for stop for lunch, stop for gas. Down in town, where the off-ramp is, there's, 3. They got every freaking franchise out there: Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, Wonder Burger, Whataburger, Super Burger, Hungry Burger, Five Guy Burger, right? The only place left in town that has burgers. You got fried chicken, dried chicken, live chicken. You got, Waffle House, Huddle House. What's that one? Olive House. Jesus, you got the Texas Roadhouse. There's another one that sells steaks. Bob's Steakhouse, Jack's Steakhouse. It's lousy. They just bring in a building, drop it off, throw in some packages, hire some people, and and throw the doors open. Yep. Sin Delicious is the best, isn't she? Mm. So that's what we got here. I would expect along the major thoroughfares, especially highway off ramps, those towns should probably be among the early uh, locations infected. Out here in the woods, probably not as much. You got to go 10 miles this way. I got to go north, go through town, take a left, and it's like 6 more miles from there, but it's 4 miles to get to where you turn. And there's a tiny off ramp. They got a gas station and like a Super 8. Okay, this direction, that's probably 6 or 7 miles. Yeah, and there is a gas station. That's it. You got to get into town where they got everything else, but not a whole lot of traffic coming up here. Some of the biggest traffic on this road are molten sulfur trucks from a trans-shipping facility in town. And they got like 9 drivers that have been there for 30 years, so we don't expect they're going to mingle too much. Kid is the Bubba of restaurants. I put some time in on the restaurants. I started as a dishwasher. I got out as a broken former owner. I had the chance to get the hell out, and I took it, baby. But I've done everything else. Not so much on the bartending. Let's see, but pretty much every single other thing that can be done in a restaurant, I've done it. Prep, cook, wait, serve, bus suds, handle the paperwork, order stuff, send stuff back, put it away, greet them at the door, you name it. Hey, David, thanks for subbing. Everybody get over to Dell's Treasure and subscribe to him. He'll have some content soon, I'm sure. Okay, guys, I'm going to be back, I don't know, maybe tomorrow night with this, and I'll try to bring in some pointers for tips for staying home. I'd like to do a series on starting a home-based business with coins as a home-based business. Because I think we're getting away from the numbers in some of these countries being useful anymore. I'm seeing a lot of political activity, which is making these numbers frigged. Iran, I cannot trust those numbers at all. China, I've got some serious troubles with their numbers. So if the data is not reliable, we have to assume it's coming hard, and we're going to be home and have nothing to do. So let's plan on that. Let's give people something to do. And I think starting a home-based business would be among those things. Let's talk about that. And then we'll talk about identifying coins and getting that right. So if you want to follow along for the next couple of months, get as many coins as you possibly can, baby, because they ain't going to go nowhere. And if you can't get into the bank lobby, that's going to suck. I probably got $300-400 worth of change here. All right, but it's time for me to get going. I'll be there when you post too, says Dell. That's right. I'm going to get over to Dell and give him a button too. All right, guys, I'm taking off. We'll see you later.